Hello and welcome to Doubles and Trebles. 2022 has been the breakout year for one man, and that man is Luke Humphries. He is a man on the rise. He has been around the tour for a little while, as we have mentioned him many times before. Way back when, in 2021, Pie Man, early 2021, we said five players to look out for. Luke Humphries was one of them, and he's just gone one direction since then, and that direction is up. We're going to talk about his prospects for the rest of 2022 and beyond. Is he a future world champion? So we'll start with a nice and easy one, Pie Man. Is Luke Humphries a future world champion of darts?
Oh yeah. Maybe multiple.
Oh, that's it then, right? We'll finish the video there. See you later, everybody.
We'll leave it there. No, I think he is. You can never say for sure just because there's so many players and you need a lot to go right. But look, he's got all the tools for it, hasn't he? I mean, he's got the scoring ability, the doubling. He's got the composure. He's now got the winning habit. I mean, that was the problem beforehand. We all knew he had all this talent. For 3 or 4 years, people have been talking about whether he should be in the Premier League, and that's before he's really achieved anything. And that's because of what he's achieved. He's done it the proper way, like Dimitri Vandenberg. He's gone through youth darts, a PDC youth circuit. He's a youth champion. He's done everything right. It's taken a little while for him to click and show that best game regularly, but like you say, 2022 has really been his breakout year, because 2021. Don't forget, we saw him in his first major final 3 months after we put him up for a breakout year. Makes the UK Open final, loses to James Wade, and that was very much a case of experience outweighing talent on that occasion, I think. But look, what he's gone and done this year is he's got a taste for winning. Anyone that doesn't follow darts, aside from the Big Sky tournament, you probably won't realise this lad's won 2 floor events. He's won 4 European Tour events. I think there's only been 8 or 9 already so far this year. So he's basically going at about 50% for the European Tour, which is obscene. He's now routinely going off a 7-8 to 1 favourite for a floor tournament, which to anyone who hasn't followed darts closely will be a real shock. I mean, it'd be, what, this guy is the same price as Gerwyn Price and Peter Wright. What is going on? Well, it's right. I mean, I think we actually debated recently whether there's a bit of value in that, because he just turns up almost every time in these floor events and averages 100 and something virtually every match. I mean, when it's a real shock when he gets knocked out. That's how good he's been this year. So, look, I don't think you can question that he's got the tools in his armory to be a world champion. And while you can't say for sure, I'm really, really confident. And I mean, this could even be his year, the way it's going.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a World Championship update recently, Pie Man. There is no reason why Luke Humphries cannot win the World Championship. He's 16 to 1. He's been the biggest market mover of this year. Basically, at the turn of the year, the names, and pretty much in the order they're in now: Van Gerwen, Price, Wright, Clayton, Smith, Dimitri Vandenberg. You could have called them 5 or 6 players at the start of the year in that order for the World Championship. The one person that has gate crashed that 5 or 6 players is Luke Humphries. He started the year at 40 to 1 for the World Championship. He's now as low as 14-12 in a place. And I can only see that going in one direction. I expect him to go deep into a tournament, either the Grand Prix coming up in October, and then a few weeks later the Grand Slam. I would be shocked if he didn't go deep in at least one of those tournaments. He will have had a disappointment on the World Match Play this year, Pie Man. He went out in the first round to a cracking player, Nathan Aspinall. I mean, but very nearly made the final himself. He'd be disappointed with that. It was a very tough quarter and obviously a tough draw first round. But for someone that's not in the Premier League, like Humphries, and many of them aren't, it's a long time between major events in the darting calendar. I say this all the time. You know, we have the UK Open in March, and then they have to wait until July really for the match play. But I was just doing a bit of a checklist ahead of this video, Pie Man. It ticks a hell of a lot of boxes, Luke Humphries, at the moment. Ali Pali experience. He's been a semi-finalist and a quarter-finalist already. He's only 27. Major finalist, UK Open. You mentioned that. Do you know what the biggest thing that shocked Luke Humphries there, and he said as much in interviews? They play the semi and the final on the same night in the UK Open. They're quite long games, obviously, being semi and finals, and he didn't handle that at all, really. He was the second semi-finalist, if you like, so he didn't have as much of a break as James Wade did, who went on to win the final. And he beat MVG, I think, in that semi-final, Pie Man. Correct me if I'm wrong. And in a great, probably his best performance ever on TV, and then he was just way off it in the final, just with the short turnaround, unfortunately for him. But major finalist, as mentioned, he's got Premier League experience. He's ripping up the Pro Tour. He's ripping up the Euro Tour, as you say. He started this year with no wins. Now he is 5th on the list of all-time Euro Tour titles he's 5th on the list. He started the turn of the year with 0, and now he's 5th on the list. But behind the obvious names, Taylor, Van Gerwen, and the like, he's on 4. When we did that video in early 2021, and we put him out as the one to watch, we said that he's doubling. You've already mentioned it. He used to chase doubles around the board from time to time, inside the 20, inside the 10. He's almost put a complete stop to that, Pyman. He's improved his doubling vastly since then, particularly his combination doubles as well. There's nothing out of range for Luke Humphries. You'll often see him, in the 130s of his highest checkout in a game, no problem at all. And he holds no fears against the big boys. There's some really quite notable wins. I've already mentioned MVG, particularly on TV. He's beat MVG a couple of times. Like I say, he'll be disappointed going out the World Match Play early, but he's certain to go deep in another TV major between now and Christmas. He's been as a guest or whatever, contender on the Premier League on more than one occasion. I think he was the first contender to ever win a Premier League game, Pyman. I think he beat Gary Anderson in Exeter. He's not on the World Series at the moment and things like that. I think that's good because he's staying at home and practicing while the other guys are on holiday. He's a 180 hitter for absolute fun, no problem at all. And like I say, 16 to 1, 6 favourite as the unknown name. If you're a punter, and there's lots of people that watch our videos, Pyman, that might only come on in December, get glued up on the World Championship from me and you and go from there, Luke Humphries will be a surprise name to them, and some people may have never heard of him. They've obviously heard of MVG and Snake and Price and Clayton and the like, but Luke Humphries really is coming in to spoil that party, and there's no reason why he couldn't do it this year or next year or beyond.
Yeah, all the reasons you list, he really is a prime candidate. And like you say, that Ali Pali form that he possesses is a really strong plus. We've talked about it with Nathan Aspinall and the likes in the past. Somebody who knows what to do at the business end of this tournament. I mean, the players he's gone out to when he has had those 3 runs. I mean, to be fair to him, we should mention his one disappointment at the Ali Pali when he went out in 2021 in the first round. He got Paul limbed. That can happen to anyone when the entire crowd turns against you, which is something Humphries wouldn't be used to be honest. Quite a popular player, quite a nice lad. And then, you've got suddenly everyone booing you on your darts and cheering for Paul Lim and stuff. And he lost 3-2. He wilted in that game. I'm happy to put a line through that. That was a one-off. No signs that he would do that now. And he's a better player now than he was then as well. And then in the other times, it's taken an almighty performance to knock him out. Peter Wright's knocked him out before. Gary Anderson's knocked him out before. Michael Smith. So he's only going out to absolute seasoned campaigners at the very end of these World Championships. And that was before he took this massive step forward that he's taken this year. Then you factor in his new ranking, his improved ranking, which should see him avoid, potential horror draws until at least the quarterfinals. He should be avoiding these top 8 seeds. And you've got all the recipes for Humphries being a value bet. As you say, it hasn't gone unnoticed in the market. He's opened up the year around 50 or 40, and he was still 40s in April. But then once he started winning these Players' Championships, he's getting trimmed. Once he won 4 European Tour titles, we're talking, he's approaching single figures. You wouldn't be surprised the way his year's going if he goes off single figures. The only reason he won't is because of the names above him, Van Gerwen, Price, Wright. They're not going to move. So you have to keep Humphries around there. But I mean, he's now in that region of a Michael Smith or Johnny Clayton. To your casual darts viewer, they would be really surprised by that, as you mentioned. But to anyone who's watching regularly like ourselves, there's no surprise. Believe me, Luke Humphries, future world champion.
Well, we are on board the Luke Humphries train, make no doubt about that here on the channel at Doubles and Trebles. So let us know in the comments, do you think he is a champion in waiting, or even another TV major winner in waiting? So let us know in the comments, and we'll be happy to see what you think. We're thinking on Luke Humphries is. But we'll be back with more darting content, and make sure you enter our ticket giveaway competition as well. Information is in the description below. Thank you.